Okay, so I must tell you of this movie that I just watched. It's an old movie, way back when from the 80s, known as Flight of the Dragons. It's a fantasy movie, a lot like other fantasy movies. It's got dragons, knights, mythical creatures, which I guess dragons count as wizards, an evil wizard, a quest, and at the center of it is a man of science. Like, literally just a regular guy, which I guess you could count as like isekai before isekai was popular in the West. Anyways, so this movie it's pretty good. So it's about this guy named Peter. He is a writer of a fantasy book that isn't published yet, and he also made a board game about it. And there's also other things. Okay, movie begins with like this wizard guy who's like the wizard of nature, and he sees like technology of like this water wheel conflicting with magical creatures and all that. He tried to use his magic on it to make it disappear. Then he's like, it doesn't work. Then he's like, why doesn't my magic work as well? So he summons his council of wizard brothers. There's a wizard of the sea and sky, and a wizard of uh, the heavens or whatever, and then an evil wizard. He summons all of them to this place called Antiquity. Like, that's literally the name of the place, is Antiquity. And they have a meeting about their powers fading. Three of them come to a conclusion of building this sort of dome of magic around a huge bit of land so like, magic could be safe there throughout all the years. But this evil wizard is like, no, I'm going to use my magic powers to corrupt humanity into destroying themselves. So they're like, we got to stop him. The only way we could stop him is if we take his crown. But then Antiquity quakes and stuff, and they're like, oh crap, we can't do that. We can't get involved because Antiquity doesn't like it. So why don't we just inspire a bunch of people to take the crown? Make it a quest. It's like, oh, but we need 3 people in order to start the quest. That's what the rules say. I'm like, there are rules about this? Like, there are rules about this? Really? Anyways, they're like, oh, we'll employ this knight. And also, this dragon. Like, we'll employ this knight and my dragon, and I don't know who to employ for the third guy. So then the Green Wizard goes to Antiquity after his brothers leave, and he asks Antiquity, who shall I have as the third person to lead this quest? And Antiquity's like, this guy called Peter. He's the descendant of the Sir Peter from the 20th century. It's like, Wizard's like, but why? Why is descendant? He's like, because he's a man of science. So Then the wizard casts a spell, I guess, to take Peter and spirit him away to the fantasy world. Meanwhile, Peter is trying to sell off his heirloom watch to get enough money to publish this board game to get lots of money so he can also publish his book and get money and be happy. And then Peter is whisked away to the fantasy world, which is like the past, like way further in the past. Like this is like high fantasy, Middle Ages, freaking Lord of the Rings stuff here. Anyways. So like Peter is in the past. He gets a new set of clothes that better fits the fantasy setting. And he's told that he will go on a quest to get the evil wizard's crown to stop him from destroying humanity. And that the night will come over soon. Peter meets the Green Wizard's daughter, and of course, they're gonna fall in love. It is an 80s fantasy movie. You can't have an 80s animated fantasy movie without the main character getting the girl. Also, there are two dragons. One is an old dragon, like really old, in his twilight years, which I guess would be several hundred years old in dragons. And there's a young one, a very young dragon, who is supposed to be the one going on the quest. So the wizard and and Peter talk and stuff. Peter helps the wizard out. Apparently, the wizard has stomach ulcers that he thinks is like dark magic or whatever. Peter gives him a glass of milk, or says that milk is the answer to stomach ulcers. Also, we find out why dragons sleep on piles of gold and keep gold hoards. Apparently, it's because they will burn any bedding that they sleep on. So they need a soft metal to sleep on, which is gold. But during the night, before the actual night person arrives, the night, as in the darkness that comes at the end of every day, happens, and the wizard is like, I'm going to make sure this guy doesn't steal my crown. I'm going to send my dragon over to him. So he sends his dragon over to him. The dragon picks Peter up, flies away with him, and is going to drop him. But the young dragon, saves Peter. But as the dragon saves Peter, the wizard does a spell to try and bring Peter back to the ground, as the dragon is already grabbing him, and the spell hits them both at the same time. And the next day, apparently Peter and the dragon merge together. Like, Peter is in the dragon. Not physically, but mentally. So then they're like, crap, we need 3. We only got the knight and the dragon now, and Peter is in the dragon. So then the old dragon's like, I'll come along with, So the old dragon, the knight, and Peter in the dragon's body set out on the quest. We get a little, a crash course on dragon biology, which I find is really cool because I like it when like Peter interacts with these magical things because of course he is the stand-in for the audience because he's never seen this magic stuff firsthand before. But I like how he rationalizes everything. Like the old dragon gives him a lesson on how to be a dragon. It's like an they raid a dwarf mine for gemstones, and then they swallow the gemstones. And then the old dragon tells Peter to eat limestone. Apparently, the limestone and the gemstones, like, have something to do with breathing fire. Told him to put it in his crop, which is like a thing that birds have, which is like a pouch for extra food. But apparently, dragons use it for limestone and gemstones. Peter rationalizes it as the limestone is high in, what is it? Calcium, and that combining with stomach acid creates hydrogen, and the hydrogen fills different compartments inside the dragon, which causes it to blow up like a blimp and fly, making it lighter than air. And previously throughout the movie, we've seen that whenever the dragons descend, they always breathe fire when descending. Apparently, in order to descend, they must expel the gas. And there is a tiny organ inside the dragon's mouth called Thor's thimble that creates electricity. And that ignites the gases, causing them to breathe fire. I know, I love this explanation of how dragons can fly as well. It's so cool. Anyways, they go on their quest. But during the night, they are attacked by these creatures that are supposed to be like from the coast. And these creatures like make a rattling noise that drives people insane. Drives any living creatures insane. So they're like at the mercy or whatever of these creatures. And then like freaking out of nowhere, Talking Wolf shows up, drives all the creatures away, and then talks to Peter as if he was an old friend or whatever. Apparently the wolf is talking about the dragon being an old friend, like the dragon that Peter is currently occupying. But apparently what happened is that the wolf was a friend of theirs, and last he was seen, he was dragged into the depths and drowned. But the blue wizard of the sea and sky detected that Peter and everyone was in trouble, so he sent the wolf to go and, get rid of the creatures. That, of course, the evil creatures were sent by the evil wizard, anyways. And in exchange, the wizard will give the life back to the talking wolf. Weird, I know. Things just kind of happen out of nowhere sometimes. It's weird. Anyways, the wolf joins the quest. They go on their way. sometime happens in the movie, and they're attacked by a bunch of small people of in the trees. They throw a net with flowers on it that apparently cause dragons to go to sleep, and they fight the night. But then they're rescued by this woman with long red hair and in a like a Robin Hood getup. Like imagine Robin Hood but a woman. That's what she basically is, and she's like the leader of these guys that are that apparently confused the main characters as part of the evil wizards forces. So anyway, she joins the group, and they continue, and they go to this inn, and they they do things. The inn is like right on the edge of where the evil realm is, like the place where the evil wizard is and everything else. So the innkeeper has to maintain neutrality, and he lets forces of the evil wizard stay, as well as the forces of good. But of course, the forces of the evil wizard see these guys. They're like, we must tell the evil wizard about this. So they do. Then the evil wizard's like, I'll send a troll after them. Or an ogre, or whatever. So while Peter and the old dragon and everyone else is asleep, the ogre comes in. The ogre's like the size of a house. He breaks in the inn. He destroys everything. He kills the innkeeper. He kidnaps the knight and the archer woman and the wolf, I guess. I think. Anyways, the ogre injures the wolf, and the one of the little guys that went with the archer woman hid in a pot of soup in order to, not get captured. The Peter and the dragon wake up, and I just realized the main character shares a name with the main character in Pete's Dragon. I just realized that. I'm sure that won't be confusing at all. Anyways, Peter and the dragon wake up, and the little guy tells them that this ogre kidnapped everyone and killed the innkeeper and all that. So they go to the gates where the ogre is, and they pick a fight with it in order to save everyone. Peter tries to fight it, but the ogre has thick bones, so it can't be bitten, and its skin is flame-proof. So, yeah. And the ogre almost crushes him, but the old dragon comes in and, shoulder checks the ogre over the edge of the wall in the keep, and, it falls to its death. But the very taxing action of shoulder checking a massive house sized ogre over a stone wall, or off the edge of a stone wall, kind of exploded his heart. Kind of a big downer. So the old dragon dies from exploding heart syndrome. And Everyone has to continue on without him. They go to the evil place where the evil wizard is. Evil wizard tries casting a spell on them to give up hope, like a spell of depression or whatever. But Peter, I forgot to mention this. The wizards gave Peter this shield made from Saturn's ring and this flute that makes anything go to sleep if you play it. And the shield is supposed to ward off all evil magic. So Peter uses it to dispel this evil magic cloud of depression. Then the wizard gets mad. So he sends his dragon, and apparently the evil wizard also managed to put a spell on all the other dragons to be on his side. So there's like hundreds of dragons coming over to mess things up. So Peter gives the flute to the little guy who plays it, and then all the dragons go to sleep, including Peter. But the evil wizard's dragon, his main dragon, doesn't go to sleep because his power is too much. So the evil dragon comes down, messes things up, and knocks everyone down, destroys the archer girl's bow, knocks everyone out and stuff, seemingly killing them, but not really because they are alive in the end of the movie. But apparently the flute also reversed the merging spell, so Peter is able... No, wait. I'm misremembering. Oh, yeah. The wizard comes down from his castle to revel in his victory, to personally see his enemies befallen and stuff. And Peter manifests outside of the dragon because in his words, he just remembered that two objects cannot occupy the same space. He just remembered that. So now so now the merging spell is reversed because of logic and science, apparently. Two objects cannot stay in the same space. So then the wizard and Peter get into a fight. The wizard's you cannot defeat me. I have all the evil magic ever. And then he turns into a giant monster with multiple dragon heads that all spew fire. Then Peter's your magic has no power over me. I am a man of science. And then the wizard's you deny my dark magic? Then you must deny all magic if you deny my dark magic. So then Peter's yeah, I deny all magic. And then he, I cannot overstate this. He literally defeats the dark wizard with facts and logic. The dark wizard's I got so much power, I can grab the sun from the air. And then Peter's no, you can't. Dark wizard's why? And guy's because the sun is so far away, and the light you see from the sun is not actually where the sun is. It's where the sun was 8 minutes ago. Because it takes light 8 minutes to reach Earth. And then the wizard like depowers, and the wizard's like, "Oh no, no facts and logic, no." He starts saying incantations, and Peter's like, "Those can't hurt me. They're just words. I got some words on my own. Astronomy, paleobotany, physics, biology, uh, algebra, astrophysics." He just spouts freaking scientific study words and whatever, and that defeats the evil wizard. Evil wizard just like shrinks down and dies because of facts and logic. It's great. He literally defeats the main antagonist with facts and logic. Not even hurting, like, not even hitting him physically. He just spouts scientific facts. Like, an object in motion stays in motion unless a force of equal to greater. Uh, like, he says, an object in motion stays in motion unless a force equal to or greater than is going opposite to it. I'm like, you can't make this up. Or you can make this up. But it seems so, you know, I have never seen a main villain that is this powerful get defeated by facts and logic. Not like being hit because like there's some sort of weakness that a smart person would only understand. No. Well, it is a weakness, but like it's not because of a physical weakness. It's like literally just bringing logic into an illogical thing is what depowers the wizard. Like calling all his powers into question is all it took. Calling all his infinite evil power into question is all it took to defeat him. It's like when it's like when the freaking math nerd or like a physics nerd plays D&D or something. He's like, "How can that spell happen? It's illogical that you can just conjure a fireball like that." Something like that, you know? Anyways, so the evil wizard is defeated. Peter gets the crown. The green good wizard comes in his flying house. Apparently, the the evil world turns green and magical and nice because evil wizard's gone. The evil dragon is slain. I forgot to say that the evil dragon was slain by the knight before the knight was knocked out. I forgot to say that. Anyways, so everyone's alive and awake and stuff except for the old dragon. And Peter like disappeared because he denied all magic. So he disappeared from the magic world back to his own time. And the girl's like, no, I wish to stay with him. Which is kind of an out of the blue decision to have. Like, they barely had any chemistry at all. But anyways, she's like, no, I want to stay with him. Wizard's like, all right, fine, it's your decision. So then it goes back to like the pawn shop where Peter's journey all began. Peter apparently like kept the big shield that was made of gold that he used against the depression cloud. He kept that for some reason. I don't know how, but he gave it to the pawn shop owner to get his money and stuff. Could set him for life with that much gold. And I'm like, I can't set him for life. And then I'm like, oh, wait, it's the 80s. Of course I can set him up for life. And then the girl, hot girl, blondie, arrives in contemporary modern clothes instead of the fantasy dress she was wearing, and has the evil wizard's crown. I'm like, how'd she get that? But apparently that's worth a lot too. And then they like spin around, and like Peter and the girl spin around, hug each other and kiss, and the wizard's like doing his final speech, like magic will stay in this bubble until humanity needs it once more. And then the credits roll and the movie ends. I'd say this movie was pretty alright. Some weird things in it, some good weird things, some bad weird things. But it's an 80s animated fantasy movie, so it's alright. I liked it well enough. If you can find it anywhere, go watch it. It's called Flight of the Dragons, made in, I forget which year, but it's like early 80s. You'll find it. Pretty good movie. Give it like, say, around a 7, 6.5, or 7 out of 10. Not super great, not amazing, not a masterpiece. It's good animation. It's a good story. It works, you know. The only reason why it's not lower is because of the the villain's defeat, and also those scenes of Peter trying to rationalize things are always good. So, yeah, give it 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Pretty good, not great. Not really bad either. Anyways, bye.